Hello, John Bloodworth, Gentleman Craft here with another Scan and Cut Saturday. This time around I'm tackling a quick question that I had in my Facebook group recently. The question was from Corinne Collins, and the question was, "Hi all, can anyone tell me why it will not allow me to subtract the circles? I've watched my YouTube from this weekend but cannot fathom this out." That obviously was referring to the open paths and self-intersecting paths video that I did recently. Corinne obviously showed this, and through a couple of extra questions I found out that the template Corinne was trying to edit was from a website called TemplateMaker, and I'll show you that one. I've referred to this a couple of times before in previous videos. It's TemplateMaker.nl, and it's where you can create all sorts of different boxes and storage containers with just a few measurements, and then the website generates a cutting file, and then you download it to your computer. Now I have noticed myself in the past that some of these don't export with closed shapes. They are in fact made up of multiple single lines that kind of just rest on top of each other. So I'll do a quick example to show you what I mean. Let's try a box with a lid. We'll go for more options so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to leave everything as default all the way down to page size, which I'm going to change to 12 by 12 for desktop cutting plotters. Okay, I might need to actually reduce the size because obviously it's cutting it off. 90, oh that's the width, so length, let's go for 100. Doesn't really matter, I'm not going to use the template, it's just for an example. Now down the bottom you've got various different export options here. So we're going to take a look at each one and see what happens. The first one I will select is SVG. So let's create. Now obviously you can contribute for helping keep the website running. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to save it here, and just so I know where I've gone, I'm going to copy that address, and we'll take a look at this in Canvas Workspace. So we will import from your computer, box lid. Some objects in the file could not be imported. The imported SVG was resized to fit within the red lines. Okay, you know what, that's fine. That's another issue, but I'm going to zoom to the max size. I'm going to take a look at these things in the layers panel. So as you can see, it is made up of various different bits and pieces. We've got the score lines as basic shapes, and we've got the actual cutting outlines. So I'm going to get rid of the cutting outlines because they wouldn't cause us this issue. In this case, if I double click to enter the path editing node, it actually looks like I've got a closed path here because I've got the option to open or close the outline. And the same here. So if I just move these around, you can see it's a closed outline because all of these are connected to each other. So in this instance, the SVG option worked. Let's have a look at what happens if we choose, say for example, Cricut, which we know as a cutting machine. It still exports as an SVG file format. Let's get rid of those. Make sure that I choose the right one. Click open. Okay, now this you can see is made up of many more different types of lines. So the blue ones again were the scoring lines. So again, I'll get rid of those so we can see what we're doing. But you can see here that each of these shapes is now made up of a bunch of separate lines. So I can actually move these apart from each other. There we go, you see. Now at the moment, there is no way of, I'm just undoing this by the way, in case you see them all moving back into place. At the moment, there is no way of joining two separate paths together. We can open and close a single path, but we can't join together more than one path. So what I'm doing here is I'm grouping each part of that template, and I'm going to lock this and hide this bottom one, and I'm going to zoom in to this one. And what I'm going to do is actually lock it in place, and then I'm going to grab the path tool, and whenever I move my cursor over one of the existing nodes of the existing path, you can see how a little square appears on it. Let me just hover it over and pause there and zoom in a little bit so you can see better. And if I move the mouse away, move it closer. So what I'm going to do is actually retrace this so that it's one continuous path. So I start my click anywhere on one of those nodes, and then I'll move to the next one until it snaps into place, click, and repeat this all the way around that shape. And then when it comes to the end, once we've done that, we've now created a single shape, and that's one continuous line. So it's a closed path. So now if we wanted to put those thumb holes in, we could grab ourselves a circle, resize it obviously, otherwise I'm going to chop a massive chunk out of that design. Align it so that it's central, and then use the process overlap to subtract, and you can see that now worked. If I just do that for this one, hopefully you'll see the challenge that we were facing. Now I do need to unlock it, align it, and then subtract, and that's the error that let me check. That's the error that Corinne was facing. So as you can see, that's one way of fixing it. However, if we go back to that TemplateMaker website, let's just remind ourselves that SVG, this option here, actually worked at exporting it as a closed path. So if you are exporting it with any of these other options, it's possible that you will end up with a bunch of open paths rather than one single continuous path. Okay, I hope that helps someone somewhere, sometime, somehow. In the meantime, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It does help me get seen by more people, and obviously helps the channel grow, so that's very much appreciated. And of course, doing that is free. If you would like to buy me a coffee, you are more than welcome to. I will leave a link in the description below the video on YouTube. And of course, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.